This was just awful. I don't know exactly how to describe this. Trey Lance, it's not obvious exactly where it happens to his ankle. Clearly he gets rolled up on. But Ryan Clark, he will have season-ending ankle surgery. What a terrible break for the young player.
Watching him get carted off the field, the next play is starting right here. And you can see this is what the NFL is. The game just moves on, and that's sad for that young kid, but football will be played.
And then the storyline is obvious. Back comes Jimmy G, the man who led them to a Super Bowl a few years ago and led them to the championship game last year. And on his first drive of the season, he leads them to a touchdown. And the 49ers had a 13-0 lead, and then he wrecks his finding Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jimmy G's the man. And if you give him time in the pocket, he can still play well.
Samuel had himself a decent day later in the drive, 4th and goal Niners. It's Garoppolo taking it in. Niners win at 27-7. Garoppolo throws for 154 yards and a touchdown. He runs for another. Look, both of these things can be true at the same time, Dan Orlovsky. First and foremost, we all feel terrible for the young player. He's got a lot of career in front of him. Hopefully he will come back and be great. However, in the immediacy of this, for the 49ers' chances of winning a championship this year, are they now better equipped with Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback? Dan, yes or no?
No, they're not. We know who this 49ers team is with Jimmy Garoppolo. They're good, but they're not championship caliber. This is not the same defense that they've had in the years past. The reason they got Trey Lance or went to go get Trey Lance and gave him the job because they wanted more and better out of their quarterback position. They're going to be really good, but they're still going to be kept at a ceiling of can Jimmy G take them to places that he hasn't been able to. And we can say, well, they're in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but they didn't get that done, and it was because of a missed post. I will say one thing, though, Greeny. I'm hopeful that Trey Lance's career is incredibly long. My fear is that this is 3 years now of Trey Lance going really long times without playing football. That's a big deal. He didn't play his last year at college. He didn't play much last year, and he's not going to play much this year. I hope he's going to be just fine. But his development, which is so paramount, is 3 years without playing football at that position. That's brutal, man.
No question about it. Again, his last year of college was COVID. They scheduled one game. They didn't play a season. They literally scheduled one game. So he played one game that year. He played sparingly last year, and now this. How about it? Jimmy G in at quarterback for the 49ers. What are they?
I mean, they're a team that can get to a championship, and we've seen that. And I know, Dan talks about the ceiling. That ceiling was almost beating Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And so if you're the San Francisco 49ers, although you wanted to get Jimmy G out of there, you hope to get something in the trade. This is just a lucky happenstance. Now with Trey Lance out, you saw the immediate impact of Jimmy G being comfortable, being able to get the ball to Ayuk, get the ball out to Deebo Samuel, and this team now has a chance, even with a quote-unquote backup.
Yeah, it was a brilliant move of signing Garoppolo back. Everybody was talking, all the fans were saying, well, they ought to trade him, they ought to unleash him. No, not unless you're getting the compensation that you want for him. This is why you keep your backup quarterback. All right, it's not charity. You don't give your backup quarterback away, and this is why you keep it. Injuries happen in the NFL. They have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl with Jimmy G than they would with Trey Lance right now because of the experience factor. All right, so to me, I think I know what Dan's talking about. Can he get you the big game? Hell, he's gotten to so many big games before. Will he win it? I don't know. But he can get you there. That for sure we know.
You got to be in it to win it. It's a long season. We'll see where they go. Meantime, Dan, I want to show you Russell Wilson yesterday. Broncos, Texans, after the disaster that was Monday night in the finish. Wilson now playing his first home game as a Bronco and would hear the boos for much of the day. Wilson 6 of 19 in the first half. RC, they looked awful.
They were terrible in the first half. This team had 6 goal-to-go downs, and they only gained 4 yards. You don't go get Russell Wilson to be that putrid.
Fourth, Browns leading it by 7. Nick Chubb is going to take the handoff. The best missed tackle in the history of the sport came right here because Chubb should have taken a knee. Instead, he scores. Browns miss the extra point. They're leading at 30-17. Jets get it back. They need to score quickly. Rex, where the actual heck is the defense?
I have no idea. Is that in Baltimore or is that Cleveland? Like, are you kidding me? Both these teams don't know what the hell they're doing.
Corey Davis, 66 yards. It's a 6-point game. RC, no one ever recovers onside kicks anymore, right?
We're out there kicking against the Browns. We got 2 teams that don't ever never won a win ever, and the Browns are giving the Jets a chance.
Yeah, that was Amari Cooper out there for Cleveland. Jets get it back. 25 seconds to go. 3rd and 10. Joe Flacco. Garrett Wilson is the best player that ever lived. Jets kick an extra point. They take a 31-30 lead. Browns are stunned. They can't believe it. 13 seconds left. Browns trying to get in field goal position. Jacoby Brissett. Ashton Davis only played 1 snap in this game, and he intercepts that pass and then does the right thing. He takes the knee Nick Chubb didn't take. Joe Flacco throws 4 touchdowns. Jets win it 31-30 in one of the greatest, most extraordinary comebacks in the history of that franchise. And I'm telling you right now, it was a level of excitement for the Jet fans, and Rex, you felt it too.
Oh my goodness,
it was a level of excitement for fans of that team, and there are lots of us, and we are long suffering. I have not felt that way since you were the coach. That's been that long since they had a win that felt like that.
Oh my God. I mean, there's no way. They had a 0.1 chance to win the game.
Yes.
0.1 chance. Well, guess what? They won it. And nobody needed it more than Robert Saleh, because he went out there and he said, I'm taking receipts.
Yes.
Why? The message was to his locker room, saying that, man, I believe in it. I'm going to put myself out there, and I believe in it. And this team had no quit or whatever. That Garrett Wilson, by the way, is a young stud. And to me, I look at the Jets. I'm watching this game, and I see these two teams, the Browns, man, remember they were up here. Everybody was so high on them 2 years ago. I think these two teams are going in opposite directions. I think the Jets are going this way, and the Browns are going this way. And I will say this to Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I made the same mistake in a playoff game
Yes.
with Sean Green when I never told Sean Green. Because you're sitting back saying, man, we're kicking their butts. You don't assume you're going to miss a dang extra point.
Yeah.
All right. That's another thing right here. So, I mean, they don't tell tell this guy to take a knee, and I would have made the same mistake. I wouldn't have told him.
Dan Orlovsky, you and I were on a flight to Las Vegas together to do the draft before we knew who was going to take who. And you said to me, Garrett Wilson was the best player in this draft. And here it is, 2 games in, and he is now the best player in the National Football League. Can I get your analysis, please?
He's a stud.
Greeny, the rookie target record is 167 targets. Garrett Wilson should break that. If I was the Jets, I'm throwing him the ball at least 10 times a game. And in that last drive, we were watching it out here because of the Monday Night Football game. We're all sitting together watching it. In the last drive, I was saying, just throw the ball to 17. Just find 17 and throw the ball. You'll win the game if you do. And sure enough, they did. I don't think he was covered all game yesterday. I obviously think he's he's the best Jets offensive player in 20 years. I mean, he's going to be the next Justin Jefferson superstar at wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, Curtis Martin, whatever. That's not getting into that. RC, I mean, was that the greatest win in recent memory? The greatest win of all time? The greatest game ever played? How?
None of those things. It's absolutely none of those things.
Okay.
But someone did jump in the DeLorean and find us 2012, 2013 playoff Joe Flacco toward the end of that game. And when you look at this team, I think the one thing Rex has always asked from the Jets, at least under Robert Saleh, was to play with energy, right? Play with some passion. If you're a defensive coach, defensive coaches get teams to fight. And yesterday, the New York Jets fought. And when you think about Garrett Wilson, I got an opportunity to meet him when he was a kid. He was in high school. All of the stuff you see now, you saw then. He's an absolute stud, and the one thing he can do is uncover. So whether it's Joe Flacco or Zach Wilson, dude is going to be open, and he's someone you should get the ball to.
They should have Zach Wilson back in a couple of weeks. All right, we have 2 Monday night games. You see that Dan is in Buffalo. He's getting set for Titans and Bills. That kicks at 7:50.